I have streamed, hopefully everything is working on all of the channels. I should be streaming to both LinkedIn and YouTube. So I'll go ahead and kind of get into what I'm talking about. So, uh, where have I been? For a while, I've been just doing things that make me a little happier. For years, I've just been building things. And so I've been spending some time trying to connect with things that I enjoy doing again. And one thing I've always wanted to do is, you know, do things like build games and build something that's a little more creative and a little more fun. But because I, run a business and things like that, and then I tend to work with more, like enterprise businesses and, you know, software companies. I've decided to just kind of do some side projects, both, being able to use the technology that I built. So what you're seeing right here is, I've built my own server technology. Now, for anyone who has been part of my communities, you know that I built something called the Underground Nexus, but I've actually continued to grow the Underground Nexus. So if you were to go over to cloudunderground.dev and check out what has been built on there recently, there's this whole environment that can be used to just build software is really what I use it for. And it's also what I use to help my community learn how to build technology and software. And one of the things that I'm doing in a few weekends from now is I'm going to be starting to do some weekend workshops on how someone can have an idea in your head and then turn that idea into something real. And so I'll kind of get into it. What I've done recently is, like I said, I wanted to build a new idea and turn that idea into something. So I was like, how can I go about making a video game? So I, talked to different people and things like that. So I was fortunate enough to get to work with the Jitterrue team to go and make a game. And this game is called Sorry About the Mess. And my involvement was, since I have a software framework and a way to build software and make it so that people can kind of, turn your idea into a real thing, I said, you know what? If everyone else can do the art and do all of the creative aspects, then I will do my part to make it a real piece of software so that you have a real game. And so then also, just to kind of also give a challenge to, see what all can we push the limits to. Everyone these days is kind of all about the AI thing. And even though I use AI, believe me, I do. I wanted a challenge to kind of see, what can we do as just a team of people. So 3 people, no AI. We decided to go and build something for the O2A2 Jam. And then one of the other benefits of that is now it gets to be out there where people can see, what is really possible even without AI these days. And so then, because most of my other software stuff, everyone's using AI and doing all these other things, it kind of brought me back to what's it like to just kind of do something without AI again, and kind of build something that is personal and fun to design. So what I wanted to also talk about is the sort of like the development process. So this environment that I'm showing you, one of the main things about it is it's so that I can actually build things. So in order to build this game, I actually built my own MVP tool for making more games. I was like, how can I sort of just like change some of the things that I do where I can start doing things that are a little more fun? And so I built my own game building engine as a way to kind of also challenge myself. And then also one of the things that if you go to cloudunderground.dev, I actually sell the exact process that I use for building a new minimum viable product. And it's also the same process for how I build products that I sell, which is how I built my whole business. So this is something that I built in 2021. In 2021, I built basically this whole framework for how do you build a minimum viable product. So my real creation lately is this game launcher that lets me go and build the equivalent of what lets me go and build a game that lives on the internet. So if you were to go to itch.io, you can play this game anytime right now. But in order to develop a game, you need a way to have like a server, because you need code or a place to do your code in order to build something like that. So I went and decided to just go and build an entire environment that lets me go and build out these games, test these games, and participate with something like this O2A2 jam, which then I'm going to go ahead and start doing a few other competitions or just these challenges, just because it gives me something more creative to do, something that's been a little more fun for me. And even though most know me for like cybersecurity or cloud and that sort of a thing, I'm also an artist. I'm someone who historically, like, I make comics, and I have a whole website called Living in the Noise that has comics. And I've done that long before I even did cybersecurity. My early businesses were things like music and stuff like that. And so I've decided to try to find ways to put all of my work together. And as you can see here, I have a way to go and start developing games where, everything from the menus. So like if I go and click on the options and things like that, I was not the artist for this. I was the one who made sure that the menus work, make sure that we have a functioning game. And, we were able to get 1,000 plays after this, just after like a week of this being released. And so that kind of goes back to my framework, or at least how I've been doing things is, how do you, see, I'm going to turn some of this down. How do you go about taking like an idea of something that is yours, or something that, actually, I'll just mute this for now. How do you go and build something that you really want to build and turn it into something that can have like real users or real players or real people who might actually play your game? So that's, anyways, that's what I decided to put more of my time into. Let's see if it'll let me. Let's mute. I'll just go ahead and. Well, I guess my whole point is not necessarily that I'm going to play the game, even though I could. But anyway, the real point is that it only took 2 days of my involvement to make sure that this was something that could actually be a real playable game, something that someone could actually go and spend their time with and have a good time. And instead of sort of like the types of software that I build, I'm used to, I have tens of thousands of users on my own software. And then for other companies who I build software for, some of them have far more users than the software that my own company software builds. But anyway, the main point is I will be holding workshops soon here on, how do you go about taking an idea, something that you want to do, that you wish maybe you could then turn into something real and get real customers. And then on my end, because I also use this to kind of challenge myself to see like if I can go and turn this into a way to improve my own career as well. Because for me, I've kind of lost a lot of motivation to do just like stuff that I hate. Like, do I really enjoy building cybersecurity software? I'm good at it, but it's not like my passion, and it's something that I know a lot about, and clearly enough to go and build my own engineering platform and things to build my own like products on. So this lets me go and test like the very web hosting before putting it up on a website, for example. So that allows me to use my actual skills and things like cybersecurity to go and test like, hey, will this game now not just run in my little server environment here? I want to then go and put this game where then it can be experienced by, thousands of people, which now it's already had thousands of plays. And, it's just something that's a lot more fun than the typical fare of things that I build. So anyway, with that being said, one of the other things that I'll be doing is showing, for like folks who aren't, joining something like one of these jams where this one, sure, yes, I was challenging myself to go and see if I could participate in an event that is all human made everything. One of the things that I've also done for people who are trying to build your own technology, maybe for the first time, and maybe you don't have your own software team, or maybe you maybe have a team, but maybe you do prefer using things like AI, or you want like a little more privacy and things like that. One of the other things that I ended up doing is building an all local digital twin technology. And the real purpose and point of the digital twin, if I can get it to show up here, one of the whole points of the digital twin is that it can be ran locally. And like even if you don't have a team, it can help you go and build out what you're trying to learn how to build. And it can also teach you. So it's something that's designed to help turn you into who you want to be. So I decided to build an environment that teaches you how to use it. Now, by default, these workshops that I'm going to be teaching don't come with this. I actually, by default, am teaching you sort of like the how to build like a product on your own means, sort of like the human way. And if you want to use AI, that's kind of up to you. And then I have this self-hosted private AI technology that allows you to keep your IP private, keep the financial aspects private, and you're not putting that information out on the cloud. Like if you start wanting to do like banking or something like that on this, you can. But what I decided to do is, this actually has like a whole hypervisor. And what a hypervisor is, for those who don't know, is, if you're trying to use virtual machines or use servers to build digital products or software and test whatever you're trying to do, then it can be valuable to basically be able to just run your own virtual machines without having to worry about licensing and things like that. So lately, if you're used to using something like VMware, then I wanted to give people some other options. And this, you can actually talk to it and tell it what you want to do. And I don't know if I'll show a whole lot about this today, but let's see. Let me think about something to put in here. So what you're seeing right here, if I say that I want to play Dungeons and Desktops, then this environment will actually teach me how to use the environment. Is something that is just one of the ways to kind of help people learn how you can go and do something like build a game, or you can go and learn how to, I don't know, build an app, or you can build, I don't know what you want to build. Everyone wants to do whatever it is that they want to do. So the whole idea is, by giving you an environment that runs itself, that kind of helps you learn how to run the environment, then it'll let you come in here. And right here, this is actually 100% self-hosted. So this is not using ChatGPT. This is not using Anthropic. This is not using Google or any of those. This is actually just running 100% like offline. So anyway, you can also go and configure it to use the API to use different options. If you did want to use the cloud, for example, if you wanted to use Gemini, or if you did want to use ChatGPT or one of these other things. But once again, this is like more for those who want to have something that is going to sort of help them learn how to use the environment. And believe it or not, this is not just an AI. This is actually an interface for the entire operating system that is actually completely capable of controlling the operating system. So when you talk to it, you can ask it to help you spin up a virtual machine. You can ask it to help you actually build something, and it'll actually just start doing code for you, and if you want it to. And so it's a lot different from sort of a lot of the tools that everyone's kind of used to right now. And as you're seeing with this Dungeons and Desktops game, what this is doing, as you can see, is it's inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, which I took that formula and I gamified how you can get education using sort of like a gamified format, where this is actually using stuff that I actually wrote. So it's pulling from actual written context. So this is a game that I actually made. So it's also not all AI. A lot of it is just using something that I've actually created. And so then, by choosing what you want to learn, In this case, it has some pre-built tracks in here, and I'm going to have some expansions for different ways where you can actually learn alone or you can learn with a team in your environment, and it'll teach you how to build your idea or turn it into something real. It's a more guided way to start building something, or it's also just a more fun way to learn how to build. Or if you're just trying to build skills and you've never built software, you've never built games, or you've never built cybersecurity tools, or you've never built web apps or any of it, just because I know that I've done all of those things, but not everyone has done all of those things. I wanted to make a more just like guided entire environment. And once again, I wanted to make something that's a lot more guided than just using AI, where this actually goes and it makes dedicated software calls to stuff that I wrote down. So where it's asking, you know, before we roll the dice, pick your path, engineer or educated. That's not like an AI response. The AI part goes and knows what to go and grab when using some of these tools, and you can actually just ask it things, and some of it will respond with an AI response if it doesn't already have data. But what that also means is that you can get it to use your own files. You can write your own lesson plans for it. If you're an educator, it's great for like if you want to hold your own classes. You can basically like run a whole classroom with this. So like if I say here that I want to be an engineer, it'll go ahead and it'll just understand what's going on, and it's going to then go and start giving me the engineer track so that I can go ahead and start building my own software demo of something that I actually want to learn how to build. And you don't have to have this do a lick of code for you. So like you can use this to build your human skills too, or you can have it help you and kind of be a team for you. And so the whole idea is that I wanted to build tools that let people figure out how to build things your way, how you want to do things, not how someone else tells you how to do it. Right now, I mean, it's the internet. People on the internet are extremely opinionated. Some people are like, no, never use AI. And some people are like, yes, only use AI. And then you have people who are like, I don't care about any of it. Just do what you want. And so, I wanted to build things that are a little more versatile for people who are a little more open-minded to, you're allowed to do what you want. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, you can do things that you want to do. Shocking. So that's kind of my whole focus these days. Also, because I've been one of those people at times where I'm like, well, this is what the industry says you have to do. You have to do these things the way that everyone tells you. But that's not true. You don't have to do things the way that people tell you. And that's kind of the whole focus that I have with my whole business now, is just that. And so it's telling me which quest file do I want to do? Do I want to take, which one of these quests do I want to take? I guess I don't need to necessarily play this game. You get the idea here. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to be hosting workshops. And whether you want to just learn how to do things sort of like how I just felt like making a game that so happened to get over 1,000 plays in a week with 3 amazing people, a team of 3 people, a wonderful artist. Jitterrue is great at making content and writing and music. And then I got to do my part of, I've been working in enterprise software for a very long time now, over 10 years in working in enterprise software. And so I'm like, well, why can't I do something fun for once? And then I'll still run my business and still do things that will allow me to like make an income. But even I'm trying to find ways to make doing things more fun. So I'm trying to create more of a social experience where whatever you do, if you join my workshops that I'm going to be working on, this is going to be a weekend thing, because I've wanted to make it so that like people don't have work in the way, and also for me too. So like I don't want to have business in the middle of me trying to like socialize. So I'm trying to create a social experience. I'll be doing these like every other month, but the first one's going to be on like August 22nd. Where basically I'm just going to spend some time just kind of going over, how do you turn your own idea into something, and then a real focus of it too is like, how do you get real users, how do you get real players, or if it's a game, how do you get users, how do you get real customers? That's the real idea here. There are ways to get real customers, and so I want people to know that you can do what you want to do. You can kind of build your ideas, you can make them real, and then I'm coming up with guided ways to kind of help people be able to learn their way at their pace. So, anyways, this is something that I've just been pretty passionate about for a while, is just starting to do things that are more fun and hopefully more interesting, and then also coming up with more fun ways to learn, including ways to learn how to build your own ideas, build your own products, and also have private ways to work on stuff. So, not everything needs to be in the cloud. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and wrap the stream up. And hopefully it was interesting. And feel free to send me a message in the DMs, or you can comment at me. I'll see if there's been any comments real quick before I hop off, since it's hard for me sometimes to stream and keep up with the chats. So, and also hopefully the audio has been good. I've been, this is new for how I've been doing my audio. I've got a new sound setup. So anyway, I'll just see. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you go over to my LinkedIn for Nate O'Reilly, then you can find me, and I'll be doing these things for a while. I'll probably have more streams. It's been a while since I've been doing streams, and I'll probably make more content and talk about things. So anyway, hopefully that was interesting, and hopefully learning more about what I've been up to has been fun for you. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream at this time.